I last played this game about more than 10 years ago. This is a military board game by the gamers. Now it's owned by the Man Publishing Company. Actually, the game series, the designer passed away a couple of years ago. For this game series, you just don't move all the units on the map. You have to give orders, actually written orders, and then you have to roll the dice to see you can carry out the orders. So it's not that simple, like a godlike game. So they call this the wait turn numbers. So like you have to do written orders, and then after you written the orders, they assign different weights to it, values to it, and so for the first turn, so mostly probably unassigned, so it's three. You have to roll the die to see whether you can carry out your orders depending on what kind of orders you've written, defense or moving or attack. So you are in passive mode. It takes you a little bit longer to carry out the orders, and then so now 12 before you can go to 14. So 3 times 4 turns, you have to wait about 4 turns before you can move into the next column. The game will give you the command prep values. So like the Germans and so on, they have much lower value. They are more flexible. The Americans also. The Russians probably have a command prep rating of maybe 7 or 6. So the lower it is, the easier for you to implement the orders. And basically the battalion size, So basically the idea is that you roll a die, and the longer the wait, then the chances are gets higher that you can carry out the orders. You have to roll more than these numbers in order to execute an order. So basically you have to wait about 3 turns before you can do, execute an order, because some of these are just not possible. So you have to almost roll 6 on 6 on 2 die in order to implement the orders. But the idea of this is to give the game a more realistic side to it, instead of just move the Russians, move the Germans, or move the Americans, and so on. So it's okay. You can skip these rules if you want to. The command prep. I mean, some things this is bullshit. Wasting your time. But this is, in a sense, the heart of the system of this game. The wait term method to implement the orders. I mentioned to you before. So this one just a quick analysis of the game itself. I don't play the game in this video yet. So these are Russians, and these are the Spanish soldiers, basically Germans. I get into it more when I should play the game. So the red number, this is the the morale rating, so much higher for the Russians. Spanish are better off, and 2. Okay, so this is the range. They can shoot a little bit further away. This is 4. So when they come over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so they're in range already of the Germans. The Germans can fire them, but the Russians cannot until they 1, 2, 3, 4 until they get to this hex. So the Spanish Germans have a 2 hex advantage over the Russians. This is just attack value, not a big deal. Almost similar. This is platoon size, about 3 platoons and one battalion. So yeah, machine guns of course can fire a little bit farther away, 8 hexes, but the value of the firepower is cut in half. It's only 2, and so on. Recon, maybe engineers, better, maybe more elite units, so they hire more better, higher fire, uh, firepower value. A lot of consulting to the charts in these kind of games. This is the terrain effects on the movements and so on, depending on what kind of uh, terrain you have on the map. This is you have to spot the target in order to execute artilleries and so on. Okay, and as I said before, area fire is just regular, rifles and machine guns, and point fire is vehicles, tanks, and so on. Anti-tank. Usually, we'll use this chart, and again, the firepower, as I said, 604. Again, you roll two die and then see the results. And basically, the norm of checking, consulting to the tables, referencing to the tables. So you have to you have to execute morale checks also. And this is the tanks. Uh, so I think the area fire is more realistic than the vehicle tank fire. But again, to that later. And the morale, like I said, 6 and 2 and so on. So this is what this is. And again, you have to roll another two die to see what happens. Again, the lower the value, the better off you are. And so then the result could be suppressed. That means there's not too much you can do. Set defensive fire. Paralyzed means you can do nothing, just sitting ducks. This is even worse. Self retreat. You have to retreat so many hexes. Surrender. That means that you really destroy. You just gave up. Okay. So the the other thing is that the artillery fire is also a big deal in this game system. And the artillery fire, depending on how much firepower you have, then again you roll die, and then actually before even this, you have to where'd it go? What's the artillery? Anti-tank. Maybe here. Artillery. Like the artillery, depending on what nationality you are, Americans or Japanese and Russians, you roll die again. This game uses two die system, and again the lower die rolls better. Sorry, the other way. For the artillery, the higher die rolls better than either you miss, you scatter on the map, it will print out that's like a compass 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It will scatter one hex one this way, northeast and east, and so on. Best shoot, that means you still hit, but it only lasts until the end of your turn. Good shoot means it will last until the next turn. And okay, again, as I told you, a lot of referencing to the tables. Okay, where did the artillery go? Eh, okay, now I lost it. Okay, here. Okay. and once you ascertain the values, whether the size of the artillery, whether it's good or bad, you come up with a value, then you will refer back to here, the values, and then you will see what happens. So a lot of table referencing in this game. Yeah, so that's why sometimes to make it simple, you can skip some of the rules and so on, make it more playable. All right, I'm gonna stop for here for now.